Hello everyone.
Yes, and okay, we
Hi,
should
my
be live
name
in
is
two.
Akshali
Hi,
and
Okay.
actually,
Hi, actually.
I think I am youngest here because I am a student.
Oh, that's nice.
Great. All right. So let me just pitch a little for entry. We are now live. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. And we really appreciate your time, taking the time to join in this invite of celebrating the Women's Day. Well, it should be every day, but and the exact date is on the 8th. But we are celebrating it much earlier. So we'll be the first definitely to indulge every women and empower and also promote the support they needed in any way. All right. So my name is Phil. I'll be hosting this panel webinar today, and this is hosted by Let Us Talk It as well. The company behind this initiative is Cogent Integrated Business Solutions, which is based in Detroit, Michigan, United States, an IT company who wishes to give back to the community and sharing free knowledge to the world. So knowledge should be free, and though information is everywhere through the works of the internet, especially AI, but definitely a person perspective experience with such knowledge and information hits different. It's still different aside from reading books or reading through internet, right? So definitely our views and opinions matter, and this is where we do it in this free knowledge sharing platform. So for those who have been looking forward for this live session, I would like to introduce to you our lovely ladies that we have here live. So we will have them one by one. So they will show on video for introduction, just short introduction before we go to the question part. So again, this webinar is in related to celebrating the Women's Day, and we ought to give you crisp and wonderful information from this empowered women out here, and also to promote, support, and encourage all those women who are just starting up in their careers as well and wanted nice tips, definitely. So, first off, we'll have the first person on the list, Fran. Uh, Introduce yourself shortly, and then we go according to the list on the panelists. So, Anne, and then Tichana, and then Ankita. All right?
okay.
Okay.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. My name is Dr. Anne Maria Hester. I am an internist and a women's health coach and an author, and I'm passionate about empowering people with ways that will help them thrive and not strive to survive.
Thank you. And next is Titana. Yes.
Myself? Yes, Phil. Hi.
Yeah.
So, hi everyone. This is Chetna Jain here from India. I'm an architect and interior designer by profession, and also a soft skill trainer. I dabble with quite a few things, and I'm very passionate about empowering women, especially the marginalized women. And I work with a lot of students because I believe that young minds can be trained well, and they are very progressive, and they do not come with preconceived notions about success. So I love to work with the young girls and, of course, the women. So my best take is sharing knowledge with everybody.
All right. Thank you. Next would be Ankita.
Hi everyone, I'm Ankita. I'm from India, and I basically help startup founders and CXO scale their personal brand on LinkedIn. And I am also a trained copywriter. I've been in the content industry for about 10 years. So I'm very passionate about the content industry as such. And I always try to give as much as possible to anybody who kind of approaches me to, you know, accelerate in their career, basically.
All right. Thank you. And then, yeah, we have next Miranda.
Hi, I'm Miranda from Canada. I am co-host of the Animal Files podcast, which merges science and the spirituality with pet care. And I love to help people to explore their relationship with their animals, helping them to develop an awareness in their connection between themselves and their animals' behaviors, and seeing if there might be a way that we can perhaps shift energies, beliefs, or areas of resistance that could be causing them to struggle in their life.
Thank you. And then next we have Shali.
Hi everyone, my name is Dakshali and I'm also from India. And I am a game developer. I am properly from a tech background. And I feel very proud to be with all you guys because I am very younger than you. And like I was right now, I'm in my bachelor's course and I'm in my final year. So thank you, Phil, for inviting me for this pleasure. And I'm really grateful to connect with all the women who are. I want to achieve something like you guys, and I'm happy to connect with you all. Thank you.
All right, definitely. So next we have Divya.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Divya, and I am from India. And I am the CEO and co-founder for DataState Analytics. I'm a pure techie person as well. And my aim, the company's aim, and my aim is to enable the acceleration of adaptation of AI into industries. And that's where we are working towards. And we are trying to facilitate a lot of people with a lot of knowledge and tools that can help them in this regard. So thanks a lot for this discussion, and I'm really excited to share my views with everyone.
All right, thank you, Divya. Next is Dr. Sana.
Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Sana Yasir. I'm from Pakistan. It's lovely to be here. I am a neuroencoding specialist and a relationship coach. I help people rewire their brains to default to their best behaviors so that they improve their relationship with themselves as well as their loved ones. I am a medical doctor, but I don't practice as such. Another niche that I have is that I cater to transgender healthcare, transgender individuals in my country. And I happen to be the only one who's doing it openly. So it brings me a lot of, I'm invited to a lot of inclusive and diverse avenues, you can say, where I talk a lot about inclusion. So I was very excited when Phil proposed this, and I jumped on immediately. And I hope to have a very meaningful interaction here. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And next is Jessie.
Hi all. Happy Women's Day to everyone from Oman, Muscat. I'm an Indian basically, living in Oman for 25 years, very closely working with Omani women in this country for recruiting them, training them, consulting, and in various different aspects of their lives. And I'm involved with most of the universities here, promoting women empowerment and various other aspects of women. So I'm very happy to be here, and thank you, Phil, for inviting me. And I can see a lot of vibrant, beautiful ladies. So it's gonna be a rocking evening for sure. Thank you.
Definitely, definitely. So with these very unique individuals, for sure it will happen. All right, so next would be Simone.
Hello, everybody. I am Simone. I'm an American and I live in Portugal. And my background is in finance. I've been in finance for almost 2 decades. And I realized that that is the one thing that I can really help women with, is getting a good hold of their personal finances and their business finances through entrepreneurship. And really focus, we have a neural reprogramming person here, really focus on the mindset related to rewiring your money blueprints. We'll probably talk about this in this panel, just about society and how much society allows us to believe things that aren't necessarily true. So my whole goal is to empower you about money, making money, growing money, and enjoying it all.
All right. Thank you so much for that one. Next is Pam.
Wonderful unmute button. So first, hi, ladies, women, empowerment. My name is Pam. I am also known as Puzzle Box Pam. I am from the United States. I'm in Florida, and I specialize in teaching caregivers, teachers, parents about their neurodivergent child. I specialize in autism spectrum disorder, as well as ADD, ADHD. And my job for the last 10 years, I have been building one of the largest private schools in the United States for children that are neurodivergent. So we have 3 campuses all up and down the east coast of Florida, right by Space Force. But we are now going globally because we've taken our package, because especially with my family members over in my Asian countries, as well as the Middle East, I just came back from Dubai, to teach educators what true neurodiversity in the classroom looks like, and exactly what our high functioning, wonderful children can do, that these children are not a burden on society, but actually are vibrating leaders of the future. So my job is to educate the educators of the world. So I look forward to this conference together, especially with all these wonderful, empowered women. Yeah, girl power.
All right. So, yes. Do we have Jigna here? Jigna? Okay.
Hi, Phil.
Hi. Yeah. So it was you.
Hey,
All right.
hey, can you see me? No, I cannot.
No. Okay. Let me just
No.
go on panel.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, I was asking who is Galaxy S10. All right. Okay, there. Yes, Jigna, you should be able to be on camera now.
Hey. Hi, everyone. Hi,
Hi.
Phil and Lindy ladies.
Hi.
So sorry to keep you waiting. So I'm Jigna Shah from India again. I'm a fashion designer with my 2 outlets in Bombay and Ahmedabad in Gujarat. And we are one of the top labels of India, designing for a lot of stars, Bollywood stars here. And then I teach at India's #1 design institute called NIFT, National Institute of Fashion Technology. And we are doing a lot of projects also, training artisans of India, and that also through NIFT. So whatever right now the PM Modi's mission is, vocal for local, to train artisans and get the best out of them, to market their products, to teach them the design developments and all. I'm on the job for that. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you so much, Jigna. So,
Mm.
all right. So, we will be going to the interesting part of selecting the names. We'll be answering the questions we have prepared for our lovely ladies right now. Definitely. So, this looks like it's a pageant, but it is not. This is just a panel webinar. All right. So, for those who are watching live, please stay tuned, and I can see names of men who are supporting promptly in our women's in this event. Thank you so much for attending. So, again, this webinar is in relation to International Women's Day for this year. The theme is Inspire Inclusion, inspiring others to understand and value women's inclusion, embracing women's diversity, sharing knowledge, support, and encouragement with others. All right. So I will share my screen so everyone will see that we are not. uh, okay. We are not choosing the names according to the questions. So we will be choosing it randomly. So, all right. You can see my screen and nothing else.
Yes.
All right. Because I prepared multiple windows just so I could deliver. All right. Now, the first question for this special Zipinar that we have today. So, should we run through the question first, or should we choose the name first? Yeah.
Question
Okay.
first. Question.
Question first.
All right. So, okay. So, reminder, you have a limit of 5 minutes, but it's not very strict. So, you can go less or more. But yeah, we have to also uh, uh, mindful of the time so everyone can deliver their thoughts. First question is, how can we ensure that women from diverse backgrounds feel valued and included in both digital and technological spaces? So I will repeat the question after the name is chosen. So let's now spin the wheel. Okay. Yes, we have Chitana to answer
Oh
the
my God.
question. All right, so I will run through the question again. How can we
Yes.
ensure that women from diverse backgrounds feel valued and included in both digital and technological spaces?
So, hi everyone. Thanks, Phil, for the question. So, pretty much as we see on our panel, we have so many women from diverse backgrounds actually. Some from technological spaces, some from arts, some from fashion technology, and I think some are doctors here, some in the healthcare industry. So, how is it that we feel valued and included into the digital world? That is one thing which I think is a very important question of the day, because most of us who are in different kinds of professions, some people think that if you are in a technological profession, then you are having a bit above the edge when compared to other professions. But I feel it's not like that, because when your background or your particular work that you do is also being integrated with technology in small or big way, you start finding value. It's not that the perpetual or the traditional businesses do not have a value of their own. They do, because they are an integral part of our day to day life. And tech, of course, is an edge over what we're doing. So it's very important that we include these things together, integrate them, and then start looking at it as a whole. Then we find value that even though you are doing a business which is not very technically driven, for me, I can give you my example. As an architect, yes, I take the help of a lot of software, lot of technicalities that I use in my design, but the concept comes per se from my brain. It's my brainchild. So it doesn't mean that it makes me less important. So what is the key word here is how I am integrating my concept, my idea with the use of technology, leveraging technology, cutting down on the time that I need to conceptualize the form or conceptualize the idea, and then putting it forward. So that is how it feels so valued, because then I know that I am a level field player in all these things, and I'm able to leverage both the technology and the traditional way of doing work. So for me, it's very important that the digital technological aspects, as far as the new softwares that come into the world, or the new kind of computer languages that we use, and the different platforms that we are using, all these have to be promoted. And most of all, first thing is we'll have to create an awareness for people to understand how these can be integrated with the kind of work that they do. Once the awareness is created, people are quite confident, and then they start feeling that they are a part of this tech generation. So I think that would be my take on this particular aspect.
Wow. That's yeah, thank you so much for the wonderful answer. And yeah, we have like few minutes actually be to the time limit. So any added opinion,
Okay, I have
short
some more
opinion?
time left with me, Phil.
Yes.
Okay, so I think when I was looking at the different profiles of all the women here, some said that she was a doctor, some said she was coaching the teachers. Two of them said they are purely from tech background, and one said I'm a student. Maybe I'm a most youngest person in this group. Now I would like to put it like this: that age, of course, is just a number for all of us here, and the kind of work we all are doing is totally different, but each has its own value. It's not weighed in terms of how digital your profession is or how technically driven your profession is. The profession is a profession. And then this profession, what we do, is nonetheless than anything else. So somebody, when you say you're purely technical, All of us have to be technical here. We'll have to upgrade ourselves to the newest technology that's coming into the market, because we do not want to get redundant or obsolete. In case we are not making ourselves aware, we're not upgrading and upskilling ourselves every time and seeing that we are in this race of growth, then somewhere, we will stop valuing ourselves. So it's very important that we upskill ourselves, we keep ourselves abreast with what's happening around us, try to be in sync with the situation around us. So that way, once we start valuing our own self, then I think the external value will get created by itself. It's very intrinsic that first we start valuing ourselves as women, irrespective of whether you are a digital business or a technological business or a student. But I think it's very important that we feel valued ourselves, and then the external value will surely step in for itself.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So let's give an applause, round of applause for Chitana. Wonderful. All right. So let me just make some few changes here so everyone can see. Hold on. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, let me just do the sharing again. Okay. Can you still see the wheel?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So I added a timer on the right side. Okay, just so we can control, because but yeah, it's not very strictly followed, so you can go less or more, but yeah, not so much that, so we can cover everyone. Thank you so much. So that was the first question taken care of by Titana. Now the next question would be, what steps can organizations take to promote diversity and inclusion in their human resources practices, particularly in leadership roles? So I will choose the name for the wheel. We'll choose the name. Okay. Next up is Jess, and I will repeat the question. So, what steps can organizations take to promote diversity and inclusion in their human resources practices, particularly in leadership roles?
Thank you, Phil. Promoting diversity and inclusion in human resource practices, especially in leadership roles, requires deliberate and strategic approach. I can just point out a few points. The most important is the leadership commitment. The leadership must demonstrate a sincere commitment to diversity and inclusion. And this commitment should be reflected in the organizational values, policies, and actions. And we need to have diverse hiring panels as well, ensuring that hiring panels are diverse and inclusive. And this helps to mitigate unconscious biases and ensures a fair evaluation of candidates from various backgrounds. So we have usually seen, when we even look at the job descriptions, it is always referred as he instead of unbiased gender reference. So those kind of things have to be taken care. And the most important thing is diversity training. Provide training for HR personnel and hiring managers on unconscious bias and diversity and inclusion. This will help them to recognize and mitigate bias in the recruitment and selection process. Then we need to work on diverse candidate sourcing also, where we can actively source candidates from diverse backgrounds through diverse recruitment channels, including minority-focused job boards, networking events, partnership with diversity-focused organizations as well. And like I was mentioning about the job description, use inclusive language in job descriptions to attract diverse pools of candidate. Avoid gendered or biased language that may deter qualified applicants. And this, being a recruiter, I have faced this all the time. I have seen organizations referring with one gender notations, which actually deters a lot of qualified applicants. Then we need to have very structured interview processes where we implement interview processes with standardized questions to ensure fairness and consistency across candidates, avoiding subjective assessment, which may be influenced by bias. Then most important is diverse leadership program or development programs we need to introduce, where we introduce development programs specifically designed to support the advancement of employees from the underrepresented groups, provide mentoring, coaching, sponsorship opportunities for aspiring diverse leaders. And the most important, which is the season of promotion now, it's the promotion transparency. Ensure there is a transparency in promotion process by clearly communicating criteria, expectations for advancements, monitor promotion rates, address disparities to ensure equitable opportunities for all employees, irrespective of their gender or their races or their countries or whatever. And we need to have employee resource groups. We need to support employee resource groups that are called ERGs, focused on diversity and inclusion. These groups provide a platform for employees to connect and share experiences, advocate for change. And we need to have an accountability and measurement when we establish such metrics to track progress on diversity and inclusion initiatives. Hold leaders and HR accountable for meeting the diversity goals and regularly review progress. When it comes to Oman, we do it in a different way where HR is been taught or it has been told to have an inclusive, because we are a society where different nationalities come to Oman to work. So this holds a huge responsibility of an HR manager to practice inclusivity and take a lot of inclusion initiatives. Inclusive policies and benefits. We need to revise policies where we benefit and to ensure they are inclusive and supportive for employees from diverse backgrounds. This includes policies related to parental leave, flexible work arrangements, accommodations for disabilities. Then we need to have regular diversity training for leadership. We need to provide training for leaders to foster our culture, inclusion of, and address any unconscious biases that may exist within the organization. Then the most important is recognition and rewards. Recognize and reward the leaders who actively promote diversity and inclusion within their teams and the organization as a whole. So this will reinforce desired behaviors and values. I think I'm just exceeding the time. So these are the main point which I can foresee and tell you. Thank you, Phil.
All right. Thank you so much, Jess. So I think we're beating the Miss Universe here for this questions and the answers given. I'm sure of that. So just stay tuned. We have more ladies to answer definitely. So for those who are watching live, thank you so much for hopping in. And we have here Samir, who mentioned very interesting panel. Look forward for some insightful discussion. So Samir Ahuja, we have Shweta Pruhi. Okay. Yeah. Our one of our managers, Manmuhan. is on YouTube while he is on Zoom as well. Thank you. So thank you so much. That is just a quick advertisement. All right. So next question. You can see my screen still, right? Okay. So I've added a new thing as well. Thank you. So next question is, how can we leverage technology to bridge the gender gap and promote digital inclusion for women, especially in developing countries? So we'll choose the name. And almost. Okay. So this will be answered by Dr. Sana. Again, the question is, how can we leverage technology to bridge the gender gap and promote digital inclusion for women, especially in developing countries?
Okay, so thank you for this opportunity. I want to start by saying that in order to bridge a gap, you need to have the lens to see the gap. And that lens that I talk about often is empathy. Empathy can lead the way, but of course, we're talking about leveraging technology here. Not all of us have a tech background like I have. I have a healthcare background. But when I hear the word technology, the first thing that is easily accessible to anyone and everyone is a cell phone or a device which we can connect with. Everybody connects that way. Now, when we're talking about women, what comes to my mind is that, especially in developing countries, there is a huge gap. I was reading up about the pay gaps. I was reading up about the gaps in leadership roles. I think this gap needs to be filled with empathy. How? By making technology more affordable, especially in the developing countries, since we're talking about that. When you make it affordable, please don't forget that you need to make people literate about it too. I see that in majority of the people around me that people use technology, but they're not exactly tech savvy. They're not digitally literate. So we do need such literacy programs, or let's say support initiatives. I heard somebody here is supporting, on the panel, and I was amazed. I am very much aware that India is going ahead with that, and they're doing really well. Maybe they can be role models for others around them, and connecting through these platforms like we're connecting today. This also goes to show that we can do other webinars, we can do seminars where women from different backgrounds connect via technology and support each other. So if I had to offer a solution to this question, I would probably propose launching a mobile app of sorts, or an online platform where free courses or affordable courses are offered in digital literacy and perhaps entrepreneurship in such avenues that are targeted at women. But also, please understand that we're talking about a gender gap. So it's not just the woman's responsibility to fill in that gap. So the men need to work with us, and they can't do that without empathy. We need to raise our voice. We need such platforms, more platforms, where we can say we're not here to compete with you. We are here to complement, and we are here to work like a team. And that's when the essence of inclusion, I think, will be completed, where this other person can, as a woman, I can say that if this other gentleman who's with me can understand and value what I bring to the table, that will make a huge difference. It will make more room for us. We can make the pie bigger instead of worrying about who's going to take away my share. We can actually not just start the talk, but let our actions lead the way. this platform. I'm very pleased to be here only because, initially I thought that how will I contribute? But I understand that you need to have the mindset to allow such things to happen. You need to have a belief system behind this, that yes, this woman can do it. And that woman herself needs to know that she can pioneer in something, she can go ahead with something. Just to give a brief example quickly before I can't tell if the time has run out or not. I think it has, but I just want to say this, that I am one person. My personal example would be that I started something that was not existing here in my country. I went to different people and faced a lot of rejection and discrimination. Whereas I was also asked whether this is religiously allowed or not, that the transgender healthcare that I want to start in the country. And that is where I knew in myself, my belief in myself really pulled through, and a lot of things, I made them happen. So point is, the belief system really needs to be checked. The belief system also allows you to actually see who's there to support you, because we do need a support system, and that's where, again, empathy comes in. I don't want to take much longer, but this, I hope, has clarifies something, and we can, lead with empathy. I hope this answers the question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And apologies, I forgot to reset the timer. All right then. Okay, so yeah, I'm just running through multiple things right now, and I'd like to
Phil, are you
acknowledge.
willing to give me more time?
We'll have our debate discussion afterwards, after everyone will take their, and also we will be addressing the questions. Okay, on the chat as well, and also in if there are any questions in live as well afterwards. But I'd like to acknowledge our active live watcher here, Samir. I'll just read so everyone would see it. So Jesse, the shift toward bias neutral CVs, especially in senior level hirings, is likely the future. New age application tracking systems are now designed to anonymize specific information, aligning with the goal of reducing unconscious bias and fostering a more inclusive recruitment landscape. So I guess this is to address or to add for the question number 2 that was from Jesse. All right, so that's from Samir Ahuja. Thank you so much for being active, sir. All right, so let's go with the fourth question of today. All right, so in what ways can women support and empower each other to overcome barriers to inclusion and achieve success in male-dominated industries? So I will now pick the name. Okay. All right. So we have Divya to answer the question and to read through. In what ways can women support and empower each other to overcome barriers to inclusion and achieve success in male-dominated industries?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Phil. I can say this because I am from the automotive industry. When I started off, pure mechanical engineers and a lot of people who were, it is a male-dominated industry. So when I started off, definitely there were a lot of biases or resistance for sure. But what I see is the acknowledgement of first of all, seeing that there is a gap, that there is a mentality that has been there for ages because of the previous generations that were there. So all the shifts that have been happening in terms of how women are growing today and how they are able to manage their personal as well as professional lives. That's where I think what I have seen as transition is I have seen both the spectrums, where I was not supported by a few men, but there was a lot of support from other men as well. So I'd say it's a holistic mindset shift that has to happen. So in this, not only just women supporting each other, but the complete society, the societal structure that's there, if there is a lot of support coming in from different segments, and that's where I think all of this will happen. One main also role is that there are a lot of responsibilities that has been gender biased for a long time, but the shift has been happening now. And I think if there are people in family itself, for example, I've been lucky that I'm supported by my husband and my mom. So it's a support structure that has to come in, not only in just the industries, but also as a complete societal structure itself. So that's where all of these changes can happen. And for this, I think it's all about sharing the responsibilities that both all the genders they have. So to be able to acknowledge that there is a support that's required, and to pitch in when it's required. So that is where all of these changes happen as well. And of course, there are a lot of programs that are run today in the industry to be able to encourage women, to be able to drive women, to build things, and to be able to, put in their views on the table, and to be able to appreciate it. So that is something that's happening as well. And all of this definitely transition, I would say. We are in the mid of that transition. And with such programs where we are vocal about our opinions, that's where I think this whole thing will change. So that is my opinion.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. There is a minute more, actually. Anyone would like to add?
Also, maybe to
Yes.
add on to that, even I saw that there's a student here who has interest in different things, and she wants to have her own career that's built. And what I see is, if we are able to inspire young people with a lot of examples, with a lot of things that women have been able to achieve, so that will also bring in that element of inspiration and motivation to be able to take those path that they're scared to venture into. So I think there also that is something that we can do as well.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much for that wonderful insight. All right, so yeah, I was looking on live chat. Definitely, there are some few active members, but definitely that was a wonderful answer. And yes, we will have the thoughts of the others after everyone is done with the answer. So please keep your thoughts tight as of the moment, and then we'll have a discussion or debate session afterwards. All right. So let me just reset this one real quick, and we'll have the fifth question: how can men be allies in promoting women's inclusion and diversity in workplaces and communities? So let me just pick the name. Okay, we have Anikita to answer the question, and to run through: how can men be allies in promoting women's inclusion and diversity in workplaces and communities?
Thanks, Phil, for the question. I think I was actually waiting for this question, honestly, and I'm thankful that this came. So I've been part of two sides of the industry. I've been part of the recruitment industry, and I've also been part of the content industry. And over the years that I've noticed, the way men can actually be allies, in our growth in supporting women, it starts at home. honestly. And once we have people at home supporting our dreams, our the way we are growing, the way we aspire to grow, the ambitions that we have, because with our fathers, with our relatives, with our brothers, all the siblings that we have, it starts from there. And that inclusivity uh, is driven at that level, right from a child. Now, as you keep growing, you tend to, form biases. You tend to come across people who are biased in terms of your career choice or in terms of the path that you want to pursue. Some may not want to pursue a regular job over here. I'm sure there may be many of us who have done a regular degree, but we aspire to become entrepreneurs, or we are doing something which is completely different from what we have studied. So that kind of support starts at home, starts with our peers, starts with our friends, the entire society that we stay in, the ones that are close to us, basically, right? Now, when it comes to workplaces, once we transition to working as a full-timer or go into a job, we are often scared to kind of, put in our opinions or, have our our thoughts kind of taken into consideration, because largely a lot of organizations are male dominated. And let's not kid ourselves when we say that the number of men in a lot of organizations are more than the women. I'm sure everybody's going to be up for debate over here with this topic. But over here, forming a kind of a bond with the people that you interact with on a daily basis, when I say bond, it could be your managers, it could be your peers, the ones that you're working with also. Having those conversations with them, expressing your views, and answering questions, discussions, all of that can actually lead to bigger and larger conversations. Again, at workplaces, it's important to not work in silos. We have always been taught that we always need to work as a team. And how can we become inclusive as a team and help, have men work along with us, or we work together? I would not say, men become our allies or women become men's allies. We have to work together at the end of the day. So, find commonalities which are there between, two, three people, and how you connect with them. That connection, that vibe, the thought processes, the mindset, all of this contributes to becoming inclusive in an organization or in a community. You can have an opinion of your own, but always listen to the person who's there in front of you, men or women. You cannot discount their opinion. You cannot discount their thoughts. So have an open mind when you're listening to everybody, when you're having these group discussions, whether it is men who are listening to women having an opinion about something strong that they feel about, instead of disregarding their thoughts or telling them, okay, I don't agree with you completely, or I think what you're saying is not right. Instead of saying that, why don't you just hear her point out, when we're having conversations? Why don't you just hear her point out and, then build a conversation and come to a particular conclusion where we can actually say that men and women are allies. It all begins with conversations. I've always been a staunch believer that everything begins with a conversation. Everything begins with stories. And because I come from the content background now, so for me, stories mean a lot. So, we connect at certain levels when you're talking to people. So I think that's where men and women can actually become allies and grow in a workplace or in any community once we find those common factors between all of us, and tie them together. Everybody may not be on the same page, and that's perfectly fine, but having certain pointers that can actually tie us together will make us more inclusive as a society, or as co-workers in a workplace, basically. So yeah, that is what I would like to say. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for that one, Ankita. All right. So if you have noticed, we've made few changes along the way, definitely. So as our CEO, uh, okay. So yes, definitely. Our the CEO of Cogent is here with us right now, Sir Srini, and wanted to suggested that we have to um put the faces of our lovely guests mainly, and yeah, thus you will not be able to see the wheel and the timer. So for that change, I'm sorry for the first few ladies, but yeah, you will have your time to shine later in the discussion session. All right. So I will just for this I will just use this option, the raise hand, if you are on the 1 minute 1 minute mark. All right. So you can have some guide for the time. All right. Is that okay? All right. That wonderful. So for those who have questions on live and on chat, we will our speakers definitely will take care of that afterwards of the questions. All right. Okay. So we'll lower the hand. All right. So we can move on to the next question. Yep. Okay. And the sixth question is what role does education play in promoting women's inclusion and empowerment, particularly in STEM fields and technology related careers? So to answer is we have Dr. Anne Marie, and I will read the question again. What role does education play in promoting women's inclusion and empowerment, particularly in STEM fields and technology related careers?
You're on mute, Dr. Ann.
Yeah. Dr.
Thank
Anne.
you. Okay, I
Okay.
appreciate that. So education is huge. When I was in school many years ago, primary school, it's kind of like the boys did, the math and science, and the girls did the reading and the home ec and so forth. And as you see now, technology, math, science, and all of these things, those things are huge. And in order to go into technology fields, science fields, so forth, you need that foundation of the math and the science, computer science, all sorts of science. And so I've always loved that personally, and I have been very happy to see more and more women getting into that. But for a long time, women, our place, so to speak, was more along the lines of just the humanities fields and the soft sciences and so forth. And girls were not always encouraged to take the engineering calculus, to take the trigonometry, geometry, chemistry, and so forth. And when they are, and when they do take the foundations of these higher level science fields, technology fields, when given an opportunity and encouraged to pursue those things, they excel just like the males do. But it's just been that mindset that the female's place is here and the male's place is here. So I would encourage, all the mothers and fathers and, the individuals watching today to do all that you can, to learn these things. They're exciting. My 14-year-old is like, she's finally really starting to like math. I'm like, math is so much fun. I mean, when you really sit down and you do it, it's extremely exciting. The science, extremely exciting, but you have to have that mindset that not only can you do it, but you can excel in it just like anybody else can. So it starts with believing in yourself and your abilities and just going for it. Because when women go for it, they succeed. In my medical school class, there are actually more females than males. And so, I would strongly encourage all women to not accept a societal norm, their place, so to speak, but to live out their true abilities and not to settle for something that's not what they want because they're told they can't do this, because they can. And we do, as evidenced by all these lovely ladies here today. We can excel in anything we put our minds to. So those are my thoughts on the significance of the STEM fields, the math, the science, all of those things on our potential, our earning potential, our intellectual potential, our creativity, all of those things. They all go hand in hand.
Okay, well, that was an hour. I'm sorry, 1 minute and 30 seconds still. So yeah, I was to raise my hand in 1 minute, but yeah, is that do you need to add more, doctor?
No, I think the bottom line is believe in yourself because you have the potential. You can soar, you can do all sorts of things, but you have to believe it. And if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to reach your full potential. But we can again, and we do every day.
All right then. Thank you so much.
You're
Wonderful.
welcome.
So, any additions or disagreement or agreement on this particular question and answer? You can part it after the final question. All right. So thank you so much, Dr. Ann, that answer you gave. Okay. I think we can beat definitely the live on pageants for these answers that we are getting right now. And then the live comments are getting hype, definitely, with the answers. So okay. Uh just go to the next question. Okay. All right. Okay, next question is how can we ensure that women from marginalized communities have equal access to resources and opportunities for growth and advancement? So we'll pick the name. Okay. So we have Pam to answer the question. And again, I will read the question one more time. How can we ensure that women from marginalized communities have equal access to resources and opportunities for growth and advancement?
Okay, so I'm probably going to be the red herring of the group here. It starts at home with everything. This was a key component in some of the other panelists that have already made their question and answer. This, and I'm going to tell you because disabled children on neurodivergency do not see color, sex, creed, religious background. They don't see that. That is learned behavior. So that's coming from the home site first. So the inequality between masculine and feminine starts at home. So everything, every question that we have talked about today, every answer still needs to come down to the core principle that these are belief systems through multicultures that we're all experiencing here, even in this chat, that starts in the home front. But there is a sense of responsibility that also women have to take. Remember that men also carry feminine energy. They are just not masculine. Same as us as women, we carry both the masculine and the feminine. You know, Friday is a huge celebration, guys. And on Friday, what are we doing? We are celebrating the unity. And that's because it's the unity that's within all of us. So as we're talking about, you know, making sure that we have equality, we need to be instilling it in home and not just in our women. Again, the socioeconomic situation, technology should be vastly, freely available to anyone, not based on what society norms you were born into. Technology is the way that we are evening the playing field across all genders, all cultures. So knowledge then has to be power. So we need to, again, instill this in every single community, but it starts at home. Now, women, we also need to take some responsibility. I'm going to talk about this very openly. We are the first ones to talk about, oh, well, you know, and I'm sorry, gentlemen, because we need to educate that time of the month, or, you know, she's moody right now, or things along the, nip that in the bud real quick, because what you're asking for is for exceptions, accommodations to be made, but then you want to go, oh, but I need everything and I need the same as men. I am a woman. I am different than men. I was born physically different than men, but I am an alpha female that has no problem securing myself and my masculine energy in order to be the boss woman that I am. When I go home, I like to say I'm the belt that keeps my husband's pants up. Why? Because without the belt, the pants would fall down. This is the collaboration that we all have to talk about. So when we're talking about inequality and how does technology come into play, well, let's start disclaiming filters. Let's start giving our young women, instead of sex images, let's start making them leaders and more powerful role models instead of, oh, the ones with the midriff tops on, and I've got 13-year-olds that look like 30-year-olds online. Let's stop these influencers that are making more money than our educators and our doctors. So we have to, as a society, as the adults, set the example. And the problem is most of us, even in this webinar right now, are of a generation of bad programming. And it starts with our children. We have to stop laying foundational guidelines of bad programs at a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old level. We need to relook at education because this is where it comes from. If we stop it and stop these bad programs, our kids will not have this learned behavior to carry on through society. There was a time I'm a study since I was probably about 12 years old of ancient religions and cultural aspects. And we need to let children start being children again. The devastation that I have seen over the last 10 years is that we have removed childhood. Even in this conversation, we're talking about first graders, second graders being STEM and being already geared to this. How about being a child to find where your ground is? What happened to letting children play outside? We learn in cycle patterns, but now we're pushing children to meet our expectations instead of allowing them to find it on their own. So I'm sorry, I've been keeping my mouth in here and I'm like, oh, ladies, you're not going to like me on this, but I love being a woman. And when I'm out and not in my boss woman, I want the door held open for me. So we have got to make sure that when we are talking about roles and we're talking about modeling, we have to model the correct behavior for our younger kids coming up. So make technology available to all, not just those that can afford it. Because our little phones that we carry, our little computers here, which now everybody can Google. So what they need to do is see leading by example. And we keep forgetting about that in the workplace. We forget that in the education system. Lead by example. All of us together today on this webinar is just stage one. Make sure what we're saying here, we're practicing. I'm an alpha boss lady, but guess what? I'm a custodian, I'm a teacher, I'm a janitor, I will clean the floors, I will change a diaper. There is not one role within my organization I would not do myself. That's how you get buy-in, that's how you get trust, and that's leading by example. And when our kids see that, then we can replicate it and we're building the next generation that won't see color, sex, creed. So that's my 2 cents to all you amazing people.
Thank you so much for that one. But I have one guest that before she leaves. Yeah. Can you show up, Julan?
Hi. I thought I'll get away from this, but definitely so happy to see Phil doing this phenomenal job on Women's Day. And he's the only guy speaking, and rest of us all women. You are surviving, Phil. That is a great thing. But for others, my name is Chulan Chatterjee, and I've been conducting. I was conducting the LetUsTalkIt webinar, Zipinars for a long time, and I've taken a little break, and Phil is doing a wonderful job. Thank you, ladies, for joining in. I was so pleasantly surprised that there has been so many people here, and I was there for half an hour, and I loved what each one of you were saying. And only one thing is that I can add today is we all know that if we respect each other, that's the best way we can, men, women, anybody, respect each other is very important. And that way we can help, be there people will listen to us, and in the same way we listen to them, then and thinking that the difference is there, the men and women, and respect that as well. So that's about it. Thank you, Phil, so much for letting me in.
Yes, I
And
haven't heard your voice for a long time, so I had to make you talk.
sure, thank you.
All right, thank you, Julan. So yes, so Julan is my mentor. Sorry for the having her talk, though she was escaping, but yeah. All right, take care, Julan. So, all right, we will move to the next question. All right, thank you, ladies. All right, the next would be, what strategies can organizations implement to create a culture of inclusion where women feel supported, heard, and valued? Share my. So picking the name. Okay, we have Miranda. And going through the question again, what strategies can organizations implement to create a culture of inclusion where women feel supported, heard, and valued?
Well, I think there's a few things that they can do. In my experience working in organizations, there never felt like there was much of an opportunity to just kind of get together and sort of share ideas, viewpoints, and that about what was going on in the workplace, in the organization. And a lot of organizations have tons and tons of meetings, but most of these meetings basically, from what I've noticed, seem to be about, oh, let's share statistics with you, let's share all these facts, or let's just say this is what we're going to do, this is what needs to happen, and all of this kind of thing. And there's not really much opportunity for input. And I think it's not even just with women. I think even with men as well, it doesn't feel like it's a team. It's kind of like these people are at the top. They tell the people below them what needs to happen. They tell the people below them what needs to happen. And then there's no, hasn't really been a lot of opportunity to just have a discussion. And because a lot of the people who are kind of, I don't want to say at the bottom, but they're the ones that are kind of keeping the wheel going. They actually have a lot of value that they can offer, because they're seeing a lot more strongly at that level what is working and what is not working. And they can better be able to give some guidance to the managers, the supervisors, the presidents, or whatever, that these are where the struggles are. And this is what, from my perspective, this is what I think might help and might improve productivity, or improve the flow of things, or improve the relationships between customers, clients, third-party vendors, whatever the case may be. And I can't say for sure whether or not women are more or have less of an ability to voice what they think and what their perspectives are than men. I can't say I've noticed that for certain. I just think that that's just in general that needs to happen. But also with women, I think it does need to be considered that as well, that women are different from men. They have different needs than men in terms of, but it also can also be in terms of in regards to men as well, that whoever is sort of being the one in more responsible for childcare, or maybe it might be shared, you know, if the kids need to get picked up from school, or they need to be taken to the doctor or looked after for the day because they're sick or something like that. That workplaces provide that opportunity and not sort of view it as that person is not contributing as much to the company, whether it's the mother or the father, that they still are providing value, but these companies need to remember that these people are not the company. They have a life outside of the company. They have other responsibilities outside of the company or the organization. And so I think there needs to be more of a balance with that allows more accommodation for things in that way, you know, because there are some men who are more of the caregiver than the woman is, you know, based on maybe how they decided how that was going to operate. Sometimes maybe it's shared. So I think it needs to be on both sides, and you know, as well as allowing for emotion to happen within in the workplace, because typically it's been viewed that if a woman is emotional, or even if a man is emotional at work, that is not professional and is not acceptable, and you should just be stoic and you should just push through, and doesn't matter how you're feeling, you know, oh, you know, you had some kind of challenge or struggle in your personal life. Well, a lot of these companies say, oh, your personal life is separate from your work life. And that's not true. It's all life. They all come together. They're not separate, and you can't expect people to keep their one part of their life separate from another. It all merges together. And so that's another aspect that organizations, I think, need to keep in mind and realize, okay, there's going to be some days where some people, maybe some women, are going to not be as productive or effective as they are on other days because they're currently dealing with a struggle. So how can we support them? How can we provide them with an environment where they don't feel like they have to hide and pretend like there's something that they're not?
All right. Thank you so much, Miranda. That was really clear and very informative. So, all right. Let's see. We have 15 minutes at a time, but don't worry about the time. We will definitely have some discussions because we have questions from live chat on YouTube on talking about to ask each panel about objective solutions on the challenges that you have mentioned or put into words. Now, moving on to the next question. So we have two last candidates to take care of the questions we have prepared for today. So next question is, how can we challenge stereotypes and biases that hinder women's inclusion and representation in various sectors, including politics and media. So, just share real quick. Okay. And okay, we have Simone. All right.
All right, this is a good one. Maybe put it in the chat just so I can make sure that I'm addressing it. But
Yes, hold on.
I
Let
think,
me do it for you.
all right, thank you so much. We've all touched on a lot of the things related to kind of mindset and things that, happening at home and as people in the household. Like that is so massive in understanding and making a shift in how we can start challenging the system, right? Because the system in media and the system in politics, both of industries that I've worked with, it's pretty much a system. And to make a change in the system, you have to figure out, I had this conversation on a podcast today, like, how do you disrupt it? And if you disrupt it, how are enough people talking about it? Right. So particularly with the work that I've done, before you are the age of 7, most of your subconscious programming is already done as your women, men, whoever you are. And when you think about your financial blueprint, when you think about your success blueprint, well, you've already been told by your caregivers, by the society that you've been raised in, and by the community that you've been, raised in as well, what more or less you can believe or not. And so it is us, if we're mothers, my daughter might be coming home and saying hello, like if we're mothers and if we're fathers, it's having those conversations and being quite aware of what we're seeing on media, quite aware of what's happening in politics and actually voicing our concerns, right? There is so much power that you can do at a local level when it comes to politics. That is where a lot of change is actually made. So being able to, if I'm thinking about our audience right now, if you have kids, start talking to them about that, start understanding what people are watching and having those conversations about like, you know what, like they're portraying a woman not to be good at with money. They're portraying a woman to think this X, Y, and Z. Is that really what I want to feed myself and feed my kids and feed my community, right? So that's number one. But number two is when you are getting involved in politics, as an expat, it's very interesting. The elections are here in Portugal. I've got no clue, right? I am an American. I do still vote in America, but that local level of getting involved in politics is what in where I'm from is what will actually shift some bigger movement. And I believe that's how it is in Portugal, how it is in other countries as well. And so getting clear on the political agenda that is going to be able to fund schools, fund budgets of, the education is really important. So how do you do that? You get up and you speak. You go to those city hall meetings. I did that a lot when I was in Los Angeles, going to city hall meetings, petitioning, making change in politics. They're very big and very massive, but collectively coming together and saying, you know what, this is not okay, is to me a big change that we can do. I think that, let me just go back to make sure I don't have any other insight there. I don't think I do. I think that really it's being able to speak up and get a little uncomfortable. That's leadership, right? Just being able to find organizations that you can get involved in that are related to your own area of, what's women's empowerment, right? So a lot of stuff politically is going on in the United States for women's health empowerment, right? That's very different. That's what's happening in France. So it's you making an action and being able to talk about that. And also getting really good at asking for money and fundraising, because fundraising and political contributions are something that actually sways something. So being comfortable with getting organizations asking for money with things that you believe in will push agendas forward. So I think that's it. I don't remember the question, but I feel empowered that I said something that hopefully will make some of us make a change. It's actually made me want to get more involved in politics in Portugal. So I hope it is for all of you as well.
All right, very well said. Thank you so much for that. All right, so All right, so we have some few things to be addressed after the questions are all finished here in chat. The chat has been busy as well. All right, so the final candidate would be Actually, and the question will be, what are some innovative approaches to promoting women's economic empowerment and entrepreneurship, particularly in emerging industries and markets?
Okay. Hi everyone.
I will put the
So
question in chat.
yeah, sure.
Okay, there.
Okay. As we know, when we empower women economically, we are not giving her a job, but we are giving her a tool to give jobs to others and shape herself in industry. So, in this era of the century where we are we are connecting with each other, we have online platforms and we are able to connect each other internationally online. I think in this era, although I'm the youngest one, but I can see the women's growing here, and I can see like you all are such empowered with your words, and you are just just like on the online platform also we are able to connect with our thoughts, all of us. So I think this is also one of the innovative approach where we can grow in industry, grow in market. Another approaches, there are many innovative approach, for example, developing some websites or some collaborative communities where women comes to each other, collaborate with themselves, connect each other with internationally, and to develop some economically something, or make some products, or make some companies, or I can say make some do some projects. Just like I have heard someone here saying that like they are just like, for example, Dr. Sana, she's supporting for transgender, and like Pam is also doing some support for the this health, I think say. There are some people, for example, Simone, she's from finance background. Why don't we all come together and build some project which will help? I will do that in my area, Pam do in her area, Dr. Sana do in her area, and we are building together a community where we are building strong connections with each other. All, and also we are just connecting, and we are growing together. For example, today I am connecting with Dr. Sana. After this call, for example, I have 5 more friends with me, and she has 2 more friends with me. So together we build a 7 of community, and we grow. And there comes Pam, there comes Simon, there comes sorry, but I did not remember so much name. But like we all come together and we have something from our side. We have some communities from ourselves, and we all build together internationally. So that is important. I feel like entrepreneurship is yes, it's good, and we all should do. But for living a life, it's important that we all grow. We all connect to each other with the thoughts, and we all are, not like focusing totally. For example, I am a game developer, I'm a metaverse developer, and I should not totally focus on the gaming era of the industry, but I should focus on leadership. I should focus on connections. I should focus on networking, and I should be active member internationally. Similarly, like for example, there was ma'am, Archana ma'am. She is from architecture background, but I saw, like I listened to what she was telling, and I was like, oh my God, she is from architecture background, a background related to mine from Unreal Engine, but she has a very good communication. And that's what I was messaging Phil, that okay, I am the youngest here, I don't know how will I communicate with all of you guys, but I really liked that you all empowered, you showed what you have, and you are building confidence in the younger women like me who want to grow in their life. And that's what I like so much. And thank you for this.
All right. Thank you so much, Akshali. So yes, you have overcame that actual because she was anxious about being surrounded by seasoned professionals, definitely. So, and we love to support each and everyone here, actually. So, yes, great job. Thank you so much for that answer that you have given. All right, now, since everyone has delivered their answers to the question aside to them, was there been a trivial question for you that you'd like to share your thoughts or opinion, one or two? So, like, we can just, if you still remember which of the questions, like, you felt you have another opinion. Anyone can open their mic or just raise hand so we can
Yeah,
organize.
Phil, I think I would want to talk about a certain question that was posed about, including women, especially from the marginalized community. The question was, how can we ensure that women from marginalized communities have equal access to resources and opportunities for growth and advancement? I particularly don't remember who answered this question, but I just wanted to put in my point of view that marginalized women in most times do not have access to formal education. They are relegated to being maybe homemakers, or they are allowed to do odd jobs. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think of marginalized women is access to education. It need not be a formal education. It can be in the form of vocational trainings, skill trainings that you can give them, which are very short term, easy for them to learn, and maybe their domestic life is also not disturbed. So that way, the first step towards including them into the fabric of progress is taken. Once you impart this particular knowledge of a skill, because skill is something that is going to last with them. They will know how to utilize the skill in whatever they want. You set up an enterprise, or once you have a skill, maybe you take a job. But somewhere, you are creating a path for them to start their progress and come into the mainstream society. Next, marginalized women, I do not say that they are not very financially well off, or I do not comment on that, but I would definitely say that if you are able to make them understand that learning a skill can give them financial freedom, they get more confident. The confidence gets boosted up when they know that they are financially independent. Their dependency is curbed down to a great extent. And inclusivity also is a very, very important feature here, because when people start earning, yes, we have pay parity, we have difference in the paychecks that women and men get, but yet the first step towards becoming independent becomes a very important point for them. I can tell you this out of my experience, because I've been training about, I think, in the last 1 year. I am also president for a not for a profit organization called Confederation of Women Entrepreneurs, where we've been working with marginalized women from different self-help groups from smaller communities, and they have so many barriers that they do not want to go out of the comfort of their homes because of whatsoever barriers they have. But when we say that yes, we can make you learn a skill, we can make you aware of how to use the skill to earn money, they are more than happy. And I can proudly say we have trained about 150 to 200 women in trades like jute bag making, because we are also championing for lots of climate change. We are also making them understand how to make biodegradable sanitary napkins, and we are trying to create market linkages for them. And here I saw the shift of the mindset of these women from being a coy women sitting at home. She's now blossomed into a full-fledged woman who wants to work, who's eager to earn money. So every second day, I have these messages on my phone. Ma'am, what next do we do? How is it that I can earn more money out of this? Are you going to connect with me to somebody? And I think that's a very big high for me every day. Apart from my profession, yes, that's my bread and butter. I do not say no. But when it comes to something that satisfies my soul, or something that, I think I can give back to the society as a woman in my own very small way. I know it's not a very big thing. It's a very, very small thing that I may be doing. But I think that is where the first step towards their inclusive progress can be made. Thank you.
All right. And thank you, Titana. Additional thoughts? Anyone? Or a different question that you have, you wanted to answer, or you had an idea with? Okay, Miranda.
I had some thoughts about the ideas of what happens in our education system and what happens at home. And there were some views of it all starts at home, but I don't entirely agree with that, because there's a lot of parents out there who have never learned what inclusivity is, or how to encourage their daughters to do what it is that they want to do, or how to encourage their sons to support women or work together with them, so that there is more, everybody's just kind of working together. Because if a parent typically teaches what they've learned, and this pattern tends to just go from generation to generation. And there needs to be something that causes the parents or causes someone to go, oh, wait, this is a different way of thinking, and I feel that it resonates with me. And then we can start shifting how we view things, how we perceive things, and how we choose to be going forward. So maybe there needs to be some kind of program that society develops. And so this needs to change in society in general. And, maybe there's people who will come together and create these different programs that these parents and teachers and people who are in these sort of influential fields that are engaging with children can start looking at things in a different way. And I think with schools, I think one of the biggest challenges with schools, with the education system, is that it focuses on teaching certain things, but it doesn't really teach children how to deal with life, how to become who they really are. It trains them to become who society wants them to be. And I think there's some school systems that are kind of bucking that idea a little bit, where it's allowing children to find out, okay, what are their interests? What are their actual strengths? And how can we gear the education so that we can focus, or allow these students to focus, or these children to focus on what their strengths and interests are, so that they can best serve society. Because they're not going to best serve society if they're doing something that is focused on how much money they're making, or focused on going in an industry that they have no interest in. There's a lot of people who get pushed into doing things like being a doctor, being a scientist, or being an accountant or something like that, because they're very money focused and it's considered respectable occupations. Whereas if the person really has a love for being an artist or a writer or something in the more creative field, some people don't encourage that because they don't see value in that. They don't see it as a way of contributing to society. But everything, I think, as long as we are doing something we are passionate about, as long as it's not causing harm to anyone, if it's something we're passionate about, it's going to serve society in some way.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Oh, okay. Yeah, Dr. Sana has to leave. And yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Sana. So yeah, if for the rest who has to hop off, it's totally fine. But we can continue a discussion for a few minutes more because we have a question or a request here, more off kindly, from our YouTube attendee, and asking if among the with the challenges presented, like the biases, the marginalization, stereotyping, like uh any of your any one of you has thoughts on real-time solutions, maybe just one or two real-time solutions on this issue per se. You can raise hand.
Well, can I jump in there, Phil? Because I'm about to jump off. Just real
Okay.
quick, real-time solutions, and I understand I'm in the classroom. I'm not sure the last time people in this panel were in the classroom internationally, whether it's in the Middle East, whether it was in China when I was in Dubai, well, from Dubai to Beijing to here in the US. When you have got educators that are already overworked, underpaid globally, the only place that I can tell you is in some of the northern countries that are in the UK where educators are valued as much as doctors. But globally, the respect for educators is minimal. So when you're looking at understanding life, I think that really goes back, and this is again going to be one of those red herrings that I'm going to put out here, is we need to bring back spirituality. It has been completely removed. It has been removed. I'm not saying religion. I'm talking about spirituality, because spirituality would then encompass the feminine, the masculine, and that moving forward, that we're not money hungry individuals, that we're looking for purpose and cause, which goes back to community. And I think that's where we're losing all of this, is looking at the aspect of a community. Doesn't matter what country you are in, we are all human beings. We are all human beings with a mission. And with that mission, we have to start it at the ground level. When we're looking at the family dynamic, trust me, again, in some of the rural areas that I've been in, the woman has no voice, has no place. They are simply there to be the homemaker. Well, you know what? Those women that I have talked to in private do know that they're telling their women that you have a voice, you have a change, and they're doing it undercover. They're encouraging and inspiring their daughters, their nieces, to understand that they can go against the norm. So how can we put that into real life practice? Real life practice is to stand your ground. Stand your ground and stand up for what you believe in, and that will come at a price. It has for centuries, it has for decades. But if we stand up as a community together, then our women do not feel alone, they feel empowered. And I think that's the biggest part. No matter what your belief system is, just like we're saying, for the common good, as long as you do no harm, as long as you're doing no harm to others, then it really does not matter as long as we stand united together. So I love you guys. Thank you so much, Cogent, for putting something like this on. I've got to get to my next parent training, but ladies, I put my email in there. I don't care what country you're in. I will work on time zones. If you need help, because the biggest part that I found was educators that are coming out of college are still not being educated up to speed with our neurodivergent community. So we've got to go in and build that, because I've gotten horrible, horrible messages where we've had kids caned in school because they can't sit still, and it's found as a level of disrespect to the instructor. That's still happening. I've got some of my Asian families that there are children that disappear, and it's because of ignorance, only ignorance. And so having these things, having meetings like this where we can educate and empower not just women, but also men, to understand that it is okay to have a woman who is in her masculine energy that still carries the feminine. And then the reverse, we also need to let our men know it's okay to be masculine. It's still okay to go cut wood. It's okay to build a house. But yet, you know what? If you tap that nail, it's okay to cry about it. It's all right. We're not going to condemn you. So it has to be on both sides. We have to get acceptance universally, and we can only do that as a community. So much love to everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Pam. Yeah.
Bye, guys.
All right. Take care. Yes. Who wants to add? Yeah, regarding to the YouTube live question about real-time solutions of the issue. Anyone wants
Hi,
to raise?
Phil. I'll jump in. No, I'll jump in. So I think the real-time solution, like we've all basically, at the core of it, have been speaking about communities, right? Building a community, like something like this, what we have right now. I have other WhatsApp communities that I'm part of, or LinkedIn communities that I'm part of, where and there are conversations that we build within that community and in person. It begins from there. If you really want to make a change and you want to make anything from a workplace standpoint, from a business standpoint, or from a societal standpoint, it begins at a community level. It begins in getting those people together. And if you have to push yourself out there to get those people, please do it. We can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. If I'm reaching out to somebody, do you want to come and join me? I'm going to be, going and meeting somebody who's from this particular community, or from they kind of need this help. Would you want to join me? So if they say yes, nothing like it. Two people have built a small community, and we are going forth now. So similarly, at the workplace also, I'm not telling that you gang up or you make those closed groups or something where people are not allowed to come in, or no. You are actually coming to a point where you have shared thought processes. You have shared you visualize a particular problem and you want to solve that, and you have a way to do it. And it all begins by coming together one step at a time. I'm not saying that you start going all out gung-ho and make these large campaigns and all, getting people together. But start at our level, start at what we are doing right now. I can probably team up with Divya, or I can team up with Jesse from Oman, and we can speak about certain things online, keep these virtual sessions, have community build up in person in our different areas, our localities, basically. And I think that's where it starts. That would be my real-time solution to, dealing with all this, because it all starts with a bias. It all starts with a mindset. It all starts with non-communication in the first place. So let's start communicating more and building these small communities, men, women, anything. Just build these small layers. That's it. That's it, probably. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Anyone else?
So just to conclude,
go ahead.
yeah. Just to conclude, let us be the change what we want to bring to others. So let's start with ourselves and with our families, with our homes. I think most of the panel members have mentioned that we start to train our boys and girls at home, and then they make a beautiful society outside. So whatever inclusivity or diversity we are talking about, it has to start from the very early ages. So it was so beautiful. Thanks, Phil, for arranging such a session. And it was really, really enlightenment for all of us, and meeting all these beautiful ladies. So happy Women's Day again. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you so much, Jess. And happy to have grouped you here. And yeah, Krishna raised hand from the attendees.
Hi, my name is Krishna. First, I'll just introduce myself. Hope everyone hears me. I'm not sure whether I'm audible or not.
Yeah, you're audible, Krishna. Please go ahead.
Yeah, great. My name is Krishna. I recently joined Cogent as HR intern. It's been 3 months, around 2.5 months working with Cogent. I want to add one point. It's a great conversation today with all this energy and these ladies. So one thing I feel that empathy is something nowadays everyone are lacking. So, I mean, when you meet any of your colleagues or any of your, I mean, I just want to add one this. I am a working mom now, so if you meet anyone, any of your working moms or any of your colleagues, so sometimes many people lack that empathy. So when they are, very low at some points, they actually want someone to, speak and make them, make I mean, they want to share their current situation to the other person, and they actually want the other person to get into their shoes and understand what they are actually going upon. So, in these small communities, as Ankita mentioned, we can probably, speak with people, connect virtually or personally, understand their situations, get empathize what they are going through, will, make them much better. That will, will have a very great impact on their day-to-day things. So I personally feel being empathetic is very important, and at this current situation, many people are lacking being empathetic. At this point, I just want to add in today's meeting, and I really had a very good, webinar with all these young and energetic ladies. Thank you so much for making me to join in this conversation today.
So, Krishna, I would just like to add one more point to what you said as far as empathy goes. I think, empathy, yes, is very crucial. And today, what as women we need is, we need to just listen to some appreciation. We look for appreciation. That's one thing I always feel. The next thing, as you said, yes, we need somebody to listen to. But beyond that, I feel it is most typically, if you look at it, we would like to discuss and have a safe space where we can discuss our failures, our shortfalls, more than having a shoulder to rest upon. It's very important that you have a community which just does not celebrate success but also empathizes with failures, shortfalls of people, and non-judgmental communities, because most often than not, most of us are very quick to jump onto judgments. We judge people very fast, but we do not try and understand probably what they are going through, and they are I mean, in that state of mind. So I think it's very important that we attach a lot of importance to communities where women can be heard without prejudice, and are assured that it's a very safe community of like-minded people. I think that's something we've been doing with our organization. We tell them that please come to us if you want to discuss your failures, because we are here listen to you, not judge you. So I think if more communities like that keep happening and growing, it'll be a much better society in the times to come. Thank you.
I agree with your point, Chaitana. Yes, I believe in something that sometimes we feel that why this is happening to us? Are we doing anything wrong? Such kind of questions usually arise to many of the women, many of the moms who are working. But when you talk with your talk to other colleagues or other moms or other women, then you understand that this is quite normal. There is nothing we should feel so bad about it. So it is really important. I really like the concept. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much as well. So I know it's late in different time zones, especially in India right now. So yes, any final thoughts or opinions before we close the session? Because I don't really want to stop this actual like the topic conversation, sharing your thoughts, but definitely maybe we can schedule this one on a different date. Definitely, because we do have regular webinars every Wednesday. So yes, any final thoughts and
Thank
opinions?
you. Yeah, thank you, Phil, for actually having such a beautiful platform and help us all voice out our different opinions on this particular subject. And I really like the very diverse suggestions, insights into this particular topic, and each insight has come with a lot of value. And I think we've somehow created a beautiful value chain here. and the value system that I think can be taken forward. And all the ladies out here, I think we can still keep the group and keep communicating and start adding value and see how in our small little ways, we start creating a difference. As just rightly said, let's be the change we want to make, and let's be the pioneers to create this change. Let it not be niche anymore. So thank you. With that, I sign off, and thank you, Phil, for having me here and providing me with this great opportunity. Thank you all the wonderful ladies here, beautiful ladies out here. Let's catch up soon. Thank you.
On a lighter note, here Phil is managing almost 8 to 10 ladies. It's not so easy. So,
absolutely.
It's not so easy, and we're listening to him. That's another
Hats off, Phil.
So
that's a compliment for you. Thank you so much.
Well, I made sure that you will have only one choice to listen, because getting overpowered here is not likely the best choice. So we have to have the balance temporarily, though we are speaking about women empowerment, but we don't want to be empowered so much. So all right,
We'll not overpower you.
yeah. Well, definitely in different aspects. You are overpowering, definitely, but yeah, I'm trying to manage. So yeah, I'd like to tap myself as of now. So okay, so that concludes today's session. So I'd just like to share my screen. Hold on, because all right. So this is my socials. For those who are watching or will be watching this recorded session later, if you want access to the information of these lovely ladies, because it's hard to get in touch with them one by one, you can either search them through LinkedIn, or you can search me or reach out to me via email, or this is my WhatsApp. So in case you want to be a guest speaker, you want to get in touch with one of the panels, you just want to join or be involved with the initiative, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll get permissions from these panels or previous speakers that we have to share their contacts with you or their emails, just to promote as well privacy on their end, if in case. So we want to avoid, like, we hate spams, right? So all right, so to get in touch with them privately, you can get in touch with me or our Let Us Talk It platform, LetUsTalkIt.com, or on my personal WhatsApp. So yeah, that's it. So I want to thank you, everyone, especially for our guest speakers, for extending your time, your efforts, your energy into this platform, because using our brain consumes lots of energies, definitely. So I really want to thank you so much for that in behalf of Let Us Talk It team, and for those who attended in Zoom and on live session on YouTube. Thank you so much for your time, and hope you share the video and promote the awareness and the initiative that we are doing, so everyone will get the value that we have talked today. Again, thank you so much from Let Us Talk It team and from Cogent. And this is the time we say goodbye for now, and take care as always. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Phil. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ladies.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.